Welcome to the Unspoken Voices podcast. Mental health series. Everybody knows someone they call strong, the one who always shows up, the one everybody depends on, the one who carries more than they say, but who asks them, am I okay tonight? The strong one gets tired too, featuring special guest Chelsea Smith, MBA. The Unspoken Voices podcast with Chuck Ellis, where silence is broken, truth is spoken, and healing begins. Morning light through closed eyes, red behind my eyelids. I open them. Am I okay? The dew ain't lifted, clouds still cover the sun. But window light says the day has begun. Red through my eyelids, I open them wide. Watch the haze turn morning to a chemical sky. Late night rain left the low ground soaked, murky air heavy with smog and smoke. I ain't sure why, but I felt something break. The whole world woke up and I still felt strange. Everything breathing, everything dying, everything living, everything lying. I rose this morning, but am I okay? I opened my eyes, but am I okay? Life in my body, breath in my lungs, they tell me I'm blessed, cause another day comes. I rose this morning, still I gotta say I'm alive. But am I okay?
Hey y'all, look, check it out. That was new to me. That was my new introduction. Well, not, I tried something new, so I apologize for being late. But I think that was kind of a smooth introduction, right? So let's not waste no time, because time was already wasted. Let's get right into it. Tonight we have the strong one. The strong ones get tired too. Now this is a particularly interesting topic. It's personal for myself and for my guests. Um, Man, I want to bring Chelsea on because I posted this topic, and immediately the topic resonated to her. And I think that, this platform is a platform to give people the opportunity to really dig in and have a discussion about those things that are on their mind. So without further ado, because ado was already passed over, I'm gonna go ahead and bring on Chelsea, and we're gonna get it cracking. Hey, Chelsea.
Hi.
All right. Welcome to the Unspoken Voices podcast with yours truly, Chuck Ellis. All right. Hey, so how you like my introduction?
You just want to get all emotional right off the top? I thought that was my
Yeah.
job.
Listen, man. Look, that introduction is when you told me, you said, you know what? I'm gonna be on the show. I really want this topic. Let's get to it, right? And I've been thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. And I had this song set aside. But just today, just a few minutes ago, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna drop. I'm gonna do it right now. So that's why it took me a few seconds. So hey, there we go.
Well, that was good. That was a nice surprise. I appreciate that.
For sure, for sure. Hey, so look, let's get into a little bit before we dig into some prime time roast beef up here. Let's figure out, let the people know who is Chelsea. Give me some background, tell me who you are. You got MBA. I mean, talk to the people first before we, you know what I mean, before we dive into this thing.
Okay. So right off rip, I'm Chelsea, MBA. So yes, that means I have a bachelor's in business administration from Lewis University. Um, I wear so many hats. It's kind of unreal. From the moment I wake up, from the moment I fall asleep, even then, I'm a mom. I work full time. I'm in school. I'm a cheer mom. I'm a wife. I'm a sister. I'm a friend. I'm a best friend. Whatever you want to call me in that moment. I think that's why I'm the strong one all the time because I wear so many hats and I'm so many things from other people. But um, it's just I don't know, like, as far I hate talking about me sometimes because I just don't even know where to start. There's so many layers to me that you don't you have to be a certain person to know those layers.
And you know what? Now that you're saying it, hey, we almost getting into the meat of it already.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, because I mean, when you think about an individual that has multiple layers like yourself, right? With man, I swear I didn't want to get so heavy so fast, but I'll say this before we go back to it. With all these layers, where do you find time for that person outside of everything else, right? The mom, the work, the school, the sister. Where's Chelsea at? And all of that, where do you find her at? Do you have a moment of peace, or how did you do that?
It most days it doesn't feel like I do. It really doesn't. And for a long time I didn't have that. And I'm still trying to find that, but I have been able to set aside time for myself, being able to actually just say, you know what, this doesn't matter right now. um, Everything will be okay. You set aside time for this hour for you, and that's what I do. One of the things that I do at work is I finally have what I call a big girl job, so that means I got benefits and PTO and all that wonderful stuff, right? I never had
What?
that before.
Okay.
Yeah, like where I'm working now, I've finally been there for about 6 years. But before then, I was always with jobs that didn't really have PTO and things like that. And what I do, I have so much that I give myself mental health days 2 times a month, where instead of I drop my kids off at school, it's definitely a day where they have to go to school. I know that my husband is working and everything. The moment I get up and I take them to school, I write the night before, I write me a list and I write me a list of things that I'm allowed to do. Not
Mm.
the things that I have to get done, but I write a list of things that I'm allowed to do today. So I'm allowed to binge watch my favorite show. I'm allowed to go to the gym if I want to, right? I'm allowed to go for a walk. I'm allowed to sleep all day if I want to. I'm allowed to play my video game all day and veg out. I'm allowed to do these things and not feel guilty about the things that weren't done. And it took me a long time to get to that. I've only been doing it for about a year, and I look forward to those days every month because I know that it's a good 8 hours I get to do whatever I want to do.
Wow. That's. I guess it's the first time of me hearing it, and as I'm listening to you, you saying you give yourself time and say you're allowed to. You're allowed to. So in that instance, when you say you're allowed this time, but the rest of the time when you're not making these moments for yourself, what is that called? I mean, you said you're allowed this, but what is the rest of the time called? If you get what I'm saying.
I get it. The rest of that time is really for everybody else, and I hate to say it like that,
Mm,
but as you get as you start to wear all these hats, you have to pencil, or in myself pen that time in as best you can, and that's what people kind of forget. The more you take on, you think that you have all this time and you really don't, because you're filling it with different things like my girls or work or my husband and different things like that. So I've been going to therapy since I was 20 years old, I think. And the one thing that she told me was it's okay to have a schedule. Like that's okay, but make sure when you're building your schedule, you're building in that protected time. So those things, when you're allowed to do things, that's called protected time. Everything else is not as protected because it's dictated by what other people need from you. And that's okay to a certain extent. That's what life is. But you need to make that protected time for you. You need to make that protective time for your kids. You need to make that protective time for your husband or for your spouse or for your friends and this like that. So I've really managed my schedule a bit better. I'm not perfect at it yet, but
Okay.
I've come a long way from where I've been, giving everybody else 100% of me, pouring from an empty glass more times than I've even thought that I was, and not leaving anything for myself.
Wow, that sounds, it sounds intense, and
Very much so.
it's
Very much
intense,
so.
and it's a heightened way of living. That's like I went to therapy. You know what I mean? It may not look like it, but I went to therapy, and my therapist told me and said, "Well, Charles, you're always in fight or flight mode." and and that means that, I'm always on the go, always up against something, never taking time for self. And I've been in this mode. I'm 50. I ain't telling you right now, but anyway.
I know how old you are. I ain't gonna, I
Look,
know, but we ain't
look,
gonna tell the world.
yeah. So I've been in that mode for pretty much my entire life. So it's kind of hard to get out of what you're in. You're the strong one. So it's hard. Matter of fact, I'm gonna say this. What does strong really mean? If you would define it, because we're talking about the strong ones, right? Well, what does strong really mean to you in your own words?
To me, in my own words specifically, being the strong one means to be the one that just is able to overcome any and everything, usually the quickest, or in the smartest way, or in the most adaptive way, or in the most critical thinking way. Usually, that's what it would mean to someone of my stature. But at the same time, I know that the word strong can be taken literally, physically, all these different things. And I'm thinking to myself, when I think of the strong one, I think of I'm the strong one mentally. like when
Okay.
something like when something like when something goes awry, I'm in, like you said, fight or flight. I'm instantly putting my critical thinking skills on. There's no time to cry, there's no time to weep, there's no time, I have to fix it. That's what the strong one does, instead of just break down and just let the world take over. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the one that always has to be in control. That's what the strong one means to me. When something
Hmm.
happens, you're just trying to you're just trying to grab onto everything and make that outcome as close as to your reality as you want it to be.
Okay. So, and I'm running through this because I'm gonna give you time to really pour into it. But
And
hey, but no, because this is what we do. But the thing is, and also I want the listeners to know, hey Shank, hey Phyllis, I want everybody to understand that you know Chelsea's here at her own where she's volunteering to speak on this topic. There's some issues that we may not address. There may be a time during this conversation that we have to back up and really give you room to breathe. And as you are having this dialogue with me, I want other people to understand if they're in the same position or they're the one that's in your type of position, there may be some coping tools and some things that you're going to be able to enlighten them that can help them along their journey as well.
agreed.
So,
And that's kind of why I wanted to do this, because if there's one thing I learned is my story is a testimony to somebody. If my story can help heal one, then I've done my job. It's not about
amen
the
to that.
numbers. It's about at least one.
For sure. Definitely. So, in doing so, this is what I would ask. I would say that because you are functioning, do people assume that you're okay?
I would think so. Yeah. I would honestly think so because I've actually had a family member tell me after my mom passed, I had a family member tell me, Chelsea, nobody worries about you. Nobody worries. And I didn't know whether to take that as a compliment or
Mm,
what at first until she broke it down to me. She goes, no one worries about you because people know you're going to handle it. They know that. They know that you're not just going to do something stupid, or they know that you're not going to intentionally make the wrong decision, right? Like that. And I was just like, after a while, I was like, man, like I like that. But then it's like, you know what? I don't know how that really makes me feel because you should. Because half the time I really am over here not knowing what I'm supposed to do. And I'm winging it more times than people probably think I am. I'm
hmm
literally using every single set of critical thinking skills I have and thinking back to all the years that of what my parents have taught me to, is this what they were talking about? Maybe, maybe not, but we gonna see.
mm,
So I would probably imagine so. And even during my mom's funeral, somebody even said, I, you're going about this so gracefully. I could have never. And it was me. You don't even know that I didn't say this out loud, but that person didn't even know I was ready to just chuck everything across the wall. I did not want to be at my mom's funeral at all. I didn't want to deal with any of this.
right,
I did not like there's no like the one thing, if anything, my parents have always prepared me for the day when they left this earth. If they've done nothing else, and they've done plenty more, but that's the one thing I can say for a fact now that my mom's gone. That's the one thing that her and my dad have prepared for me to be able to function when they left this earth.
right.
But even then, there's no amount of preparation that could have prepared me for that, especially in the way that she passed. I wasn't ready for that. We all think that, our parents are going to get 70s, 80s, 90s and, go away and they sleep. That's not what happened. You
Right.
know, a little bit, but that's not
Oh,
what
I
happened.
know. I wasn't
You
prepared
know
either.
what happened.
Yeah.
Nobody was that day. Everybody woke up that morning as if it was a normal Sunday, and that's not
Right.
what happened. I wasn't prepared for that. So for somebody to say you're handling it so gracefully, that's because I'm being the strong one right now because I have to be. I
Mhm.
have to be because I'm the one that has to handle this business. But deep down, I'm ready to cuss everybody out if I'm being dead honest with you. I'm ready to throw everybody out if I'm being dead honest with you. I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to deal with anyone, but I
Right.
have to. Somebody has to. And unfortunately, it had to be me.
And what is, and I'm gonna dig a little bit deeper into that sense. What is the actual feeling or descriptive emotion that you could probably think about at the time an individual said that to you, right? And you're thinking like, yeah, I'm the strong one, but like I have to be, but I really don't want to be. So what is that feeling? What is that emotion? Because I mean, someone out here is definitely dealing with it. So if you would really describe that internal feeling that someone could put, yours is yours, but I know somebody gonna relate to it. But if you could describe the internal feeling, how would you classify? How would you put it?
Probably in a blanket statement, very angry, kind of
Mm,
frustrated, tired, annoyed. I can't really say that there's a positive way to it because in the end, that one thing that always goes through their head, I got to handle this again. Life is already kicking my behind. I got to handle this again. Here
mm,
I go doing my thing. There's nothing I'm not going to say that there's nothing positive about it, but in my experience it tends to be just one more thing that I have to do because I got to handle it, because I know I can handle it, because people know I can handle it, and I can handle it the right way, and I can do the right thing But sometimes it's just that, can y'all just do it for once? Don't call me. Don't, I don't want to. Like, I don't want to. I'm not even going to lie. When my mom passed, I hated the fact that I was her technical next of kin. I was instantly upset. The moment I
Wow.
walked in the funeral home, I was instantly upset. I just did not want to do it. I was so upset at the fact that I had to be the one to handle this. I was in no mood to handle it. I mean, no one ever is, but in my mind, I was like, damn, why I gotta be the oldest one? Why I gotta be the oldest one right now? Why, Joanna, you supposed to have a whole man to handle this. Why you leave me with this? Like, I
Right.
literally had some words with her that day in my head. Why you leave me with this? You had one
Mm.
job before you left this earth. Put somebody
Right.
else in charge, not me. But that's just the way I grieve. I have a really dark way of grieving, and I have to, because to get through that. But we can talk about that later. But it gets very frustrating when you're the critical thinking one, when you're the strong one on time, just making sure everybody else is all right. It gets a little tiring, but at the same time, there is that piece where you look at everything, and when everything is in order, when everything is in place, and when everybody is all right, you still feel good. You still feel so good, and it's not about taking credit for it
Hmm.
or anything. It's just the ones that you love, you want to take care of them, and that's just who I am. The people, I'm a service type of leader. That's what I've been. That's what I've kind of learned about myself. Myself is, my first thing is, how can I help you? How can
Right.
I help? What's the issue? How can I help? I'm not trying to solve it for you and initially, but if I can be a part of that to help you figure it out, that's where I want to be. But at the same time, I'm like, damn, now I'm this for everybody though. Like, when do I pull back and say, no, you know what, someone else can help you. I can't help you right now. When, how do you do that? And I'm
That's a
still
good.
trying to figure that out to this day.
Now that's a good question. You asked the question that I would ask you. How do you say no?
It's not easy. It is not easy. Honest, I'm still, I've probably used the word no more times in the last 6 months than I've probably used it in all my life, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
Because of the simple fact of, I was in a sorority seminar, and one of the words and one of the phrases that stuck to me that said no is a full sentence. No.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, people don't need an explanation as to why you say no. And I
Okay.
think that was it. It was the, I didn't want to have this BS excuse as to why I said no. I didn't want to look weak. I didn't want to look like I didn't want to be bothered. And it wasn't, in some instances where it wasn't. I just don't feel like being bothered. But
Right.
it was that's okay to feel like that, and you don't have to explain yourself to anyone.
Mm.
The only person I have to answer to truly on this planet is my husband, and that's it, and that's all. Other than that, the only person I have to answer to is God, and He already knows why I don't want to do it. So He not gonna
Right.
You're gonna be like, look, have a seat,
Don't do
and that's okay, and that's okay. I had to figure out how to be all right with that, and the only way you get comfortable with it is you keep doing it. It's just like practice, just like anything else. How do we get better at sports? We practice. How do we get better at drawing? We practice. How do we get better at anything? We practice. That's literally what saying no is. I practice, and realizing that once I say no and I go to sleep and I wake up the next day and the world is all right, oh, that wasn't so hard. That was amazing. Let me do that again. Let me say no one more time. Not
it.
to
Right.
make anybody upset, but if I don't want to go, no, I don't want to go. And I'm not going to go. I'm tired. I want to stay home. That's enough.
Right. Now, you know what? You know what I'm thinking of when you said say no? Like saying no is your off switch. Saying no is like, okay, well, you know what? I'm turning the strong person off today. Boom. No. I won't accept certain things I won't do. It's just that it's a plain no. And that's respectable and that's commendable. So is there a diff now, being the individual that you are, Don't worry about it. She come on. Hey,
I know.
being the individual that you are and having multiple layers to yourself. Um, does it come a time where you putting this mask on that you may be? It's a and I would say this. It's the difference between being strong and pretending to be everything is okay.
I wouldn't necessarily call it a mask. When I when it's a mask, when I hear that, it's I think of Halloween, right? You're pretending to be something that you really are not.
Uh-huh.
And I used to do that like years ago, but now even before my mom passed and before a lot of things happened, I start to just say, yeah, I'm okay for the most part. But I start to just say life is lifing, and I let that be my standard sentence unless I know you, and I can start telling you certain things. But that's the thing that, you know, for that moment, yes, for this moment, I'm okay physically, or maybe I'm not.
Mm,
It's really just getting comfortable with being honest about what's going on, depending on who you're talking to. But that's the thing, like there's the difference. If I'm catching up with someone who I haven't seen in a long time, I could be having the most crappiest day ever. Chances are I'm probably gonna tell that person, I'm all right. I'm cool. I'm all right. I'm cool. But I
mm.
tend to only let that out with people that understand me, who I don't mind letting in my world. And I'm still getting used to that. But I'm not saying we have to let everyone in our world because not everyone belongs in my world. Not everyone belongs in your world.
Right.
But there's a time, there's a place and a time, and there's certain people who you have to have in your immediate circle to where you can say, girl, hell no, I'm not all right. No, I'm drowning. No, I'm not.
Now
I'm not.
that's a good that's a real good point. At a certain time, is it okay not to be okay?
Yes. Yes. Absolutely 100%. If if nobody takes anything away from what I say today, it has to be it is okay to not be okay. Especially, and I'm gonna put it out there, especially black folks.
All right, talk
Especially
to me.
black folks. Reason why I say that is because again, I've been in therapy since I was about 20, 21 years old. I'm 33
Okay.
now. The same therapist this entire time. I don't truly know where I would have been if she wasn't around. I truly don't. I truly don't because people think that having a therapist typically means that there's something wrong with you,
Mm-hmm.
and that's furthest from the truth. This is not a psychiatric thing. This isn't that. This is here. I have a better here. Riddle me this. You wear glasses,
Uh-oh.
right? So say you don't have your glasses and your eyes hurt. Where do you go? Who do you go to? Like say
You
your eyes
go.
are hurting. Where do you go?
My eyes hurt. No, you go to the eye doctor, I guess, or the hospital.
Okay. Right. Okay. Right. Right. Your teeth hurt. You got a cavity. Where do you go?
Dentist,
Your heart hurts. Where do you go?
the Lord.
One of them.
You know,
But
you don't go nowhere. Oh, you talking about like your physical heart or your emotional heart?
no, no, emotionally, mentally, where it's too much, where it's too much to handle, where do you go? Yes, the Lord, church, absolutely, 100%. However, there's people out there that just feel like, okay, I've prayed, I've done all of this, but there's still just that missing piece to just you want to get it out. Where do you go?
You want me to tell you? You want me to tell you? I'm a gangster. I used to be a gangster, right?
Stop
So
it.
look, no, this, listen. I'm gonna tell you, and somebody probably be tripping like Charles, you crazy. No, listen. I used to always say this, even in my most painful moments, right? I'd be like, well, Charles, you ain't got. Hey, baby, I say, Charles, you don't have time for pain. You don't have time to feel this emotion. So you lock it away and you compartmentalize it, right? Sooner or
Mhm.
later, sooner or later, that room or that compartment is going to be full, and
Mhm.
something has to come out, right?
Mhm.
Now, just like you speak about your mom and stuff, right? I speak about my brother. To me, that was the worst loss. Next, between my brother and my son, I don't know how
Mhm.
to compare the loss, right? So there are plenty of times where I'm not okay. And all I do when I'm not okay is I rationalize it to myself because I don't think that in my mind there's anybody that can walk the face of this earth that could truly understand me. And
Agreed.
the only person that I ever thought knew and would understand all of me is dead, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
what else does that leave me with? It leaves me with a hole. It leaves an emptiness that I yearn to be filled, yet it just cannot be filled.
Mhm.
So something in me is missing on a daily basis. So I do other things, not to compensate, but maybe to keep
Mhm.
my mind off of it.
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying? So now, see now
Yeah.
we having a real dialogue here, there, Chelsea. You know, and that's good. This dialogue is good because people need to understand that even not just us two, but even the persons that they assume that are strong may have something missing that they just cannot ever fill.
Agreed.
You know?
Agreed. And that's exactly what it is. It's coming to terms with that, whatever that looks like. And everybody's journey in that is going to be so different. And I guess for me, it's finding the pieces of her that she left behind. And I'm still trying to figure that out. She's only been gone for a little bit over 2 years. That's not a lot of time. And I didn't start grieving her until, quite honestly, last year, because after she died, I had so much to do. I had so much to do wrapping up her stuff. And I didn't get a chance to breathe and actually realize that she was gone until that year later. I really didn't. And that was the craziest part to me, how much it hit so much more after that. I thought it had really hit the day that she died, but I didn't. I was a mess about a year later. And I just didn't know what I was supposed to do or how I was supposed to handle it. And people, they may or may not expect you to be a certain way during grief and stuff. And my grief is dark and it's heavy. I'm still, just like there's those 5 stages of death. Like if you're on your deathbed, those that are
Uh-huh.
grieving you have that too. And
Okay.
that's the one thing that my therapist taught me. She's like, you're still in the anger stages and you're going to be there for a long time, more than likely. If you're not, that's great. If you are, that's fine too.
Mm,
That's why you get the opportunity to work through that. You don't have to be sorry for being angry. And I'm angry at her. I'm angry at God still to this day. I
mm,
thank him for what he's given me since then, but I'm not going to sit here and lie to say that when something happens and she's not here to help me through it, that I'm not angry at either one of them, you know?
mm.
And can't nobody tell me about my God, but my God
Right.
also know me, and he knows that this was gonna be huge for me, and he knew that. And I have my own conversations with him and my faith and such like that. I'm glad that my mom is with the Lord, and she's back with her grandmothers that she missed oh so much, and her dad and everything. But I still have that pain there too. And people get afraid to say that, because some people's response is, oh, don't be mad, or don't be mad, it's gonna be okay. Well, it's not. Right now
Mm.
it's not. And it's okay that right now it's not. The key is being able to still continue to get through life when it's not okay, because the ugly truth in life is this world is too big and too crazy to be in it alone, and the world does not care how you feel when you wake up in the morning. My light bill is still due, my kids still have to eat, my mortgage still has to be paid, everything else has to get done. So the world doesn't stop because I don't feel like doing life today.
Wow.
I can take a break, but I
Right.
can't stop.
Understood. Man, hey, some things you expect and some things you don't, but you really speaking your truth, and I really appreciate that. And I'm quite sure that the audience appreciates that. You know, when you speak your truth, it resonates with a lot of people. And I'm sitting here, man, and you just don't have you. Let me tell you something, man. And we personal, but and get back to your mom, right? And we talk about a few things she left behind, right?
Mhm.
She left these.
Ah, because she couldn't see. She couldn't see. She pull them down on her nose. You had to see you a little bit.
Listen, man. Hey,
She
look,
couldn't see.
man, look. I'm gonna tell you the irony in this is that I can see far and all that kind of stuff, but when it come up to close, I need glasses, right? Now, I lost my glasses yesterday, right? So I'm going through the office and I go into a drawer, which was your mom's drawer, right? And what do I have? A whole bag of readers.
Oh, sounds just like her. Sounds just like her. Yeah, in the Dollar Tree bag. You see, in the Dollar Tree bag. See, she over here, she clowning you right now. She looking at you like, brother, don't put me out there like that. That's what she's saying right
Hey,
now.
that's man. Look, you couldn't even script that one. You feel me? That's crazy. But man, hey, hey man, what can we say? So look, all right. So let me look at this. Let me see. So all right, can you ever be happy and sad at the same time?
Hmm. I would say so. Hmm. Hmm. Think about it like, I think that it depends on situations, but yes, absolutely. Like, I think about I think about my house.
Okay,
I'm a new homeowner, right? So I've been learning everything that it takes to own a home in 2 years.
okay,
I'm saying right now, and one more thing breaks, I'm done. I'm ready to get his house back. But no, I'm not. Like when something breaks, we just had to pay the $300 to get the pipes cleaned from when you from the dryer. Make you mad. It'll
okay,
make you so upset. It'll make you sad because now I had the money to use for something else and I had to use that for something else. But there are people in this world that would kill to have the problems that I have,
mm,
like a house. They would kill to be able to say that I wish I had that issue. I don't even have a dryer. I don't even have a house to have a dryer to put into.
wow,
So, yes, I am happy as ever that I have my house. I'm
okay,
sad as to how I got it, if I'm being honest. My mother blessed me with this house, with her life,
right,
but I'm happy I have it. There's all these type of things. It's like people call it the silver lining through it all, but
mm-hmm.
you have to think about it when you're going through something. And people always say there's somebody going through much worse. That's very true. That is very, very, very true. And it's very easy to look at the negative. People love misery, loves company, and all the rest of
Right.
that stuff. So people talk. That's why the news is always so crazy because nobody talks about the good things. They talk about very little good things, but they always want to talk about the bad things, and those are the things that matter the most. No, those little things matter the most. As little as this may seem, this is huge. This is a
And
huge thing. Something that I've dreamed of having.
uh-huh. Now is
And
that
yeah,
now as you think about that and that concept, right? Is that a part of what makes you strong? Your ability to analyze and look at or think of things in two or three different formats?
yes, that is definitely a part of it. It takes a strong person to say they're okay. It takes an even stronger person to say that they're not. That's
Okay.
one thing. But in that, it's easier, much easier to say, woe is me through all of it. Woe is me. I can't do this. I can't have that. It's easy to pull the sympathy card. It's easy to look for people to want to come in and help and come and baby you and coddle you and the rest of that things. It takes a really strong person to pull yourself up by the bootstraps and say, whether somebody is here or not, I'm gonna handle it.
Mm,
And that's how my parents have raised me to my dad through thick and thin, my mom through thick and thin, have been there. We've all three of us have had our issues. And you were part of some, not a part of it, but you know what I mean. You were a witness to some of that. You remember that one time. You know that one time I talk about. You know that one time. Crazy. However, I have to be prepared if everyone around me says no. I
mm,
have to be. I can't promise that, like, I can't promise that my mom's gonna be here tomorrow. And she's not. So I gotta figure it out without her. I can't promise that my dad's gonna be here tomorrow. So I gotta figure it out without him. Or my husband or my best friend or whomever. Yes, I lean on them when I need to, but at the end of the day, I have to be prepared for when the whole world around me burns down. And that's how I live. And that's what sometimes being too strong can kind of make it seem, but that's how I live my life every day. I try not to rely on people. And people say, Chelsea, you could have been called me. Why you didn't call me? And I was just like, I just don't. And I struggle because I don't like to rely. I don't like to rely on people. I don't want you to have to take care of me and the rest of that stuff. I don't want to be a burden on people and all the rest of that. And it only and it didn't dawn on me that it's not a burden because I'm not taking advantage of it in the wrong way. It's just
mm,
saying I'm not okay today. I need help today versus I just need help every single day. And now, yeah, I just want somebody else to just take over all the time, and I'm just gonna go do what I'm supposed to do. No, I'm still gonna be about business. Those are the ones. That's how you kind of have that difference, right? That just kind of let themselves go. They give themselves an excuse to drink and smoke and do drugs and just do this and that because of what's happening in life. No, no, no. It takes a strong person to say that they're okay, but it takes an even stronger person to say that they're not okay. I need help.
and how does that apply? And I will give you I will ask you this on two levels. One, how would that apply to you in a marriage and as a parent?
Oof. um, I'll start with the marriage one first because I've had longer time to practice that. So for those who don't know, for those who are watching, you know, but for those who don't know, my husband and I have been married for it'll be 8 years in October, but we've been together for 16 years. 16. I was 17 turning 18. He was 18 turning 19. So that's just we've been rocking and rolling through all of it.
Right.
In the beginning, we were engaged. We were just dating for 8 years. So I spent 8 years really not relying on him. He was around when I needed him for something, like if there's something I really didn't know how to do. But then in my mind, I
Hmm.
also had my dad for that. So it was like, but ultimately I handle it. I handle it myself. That's just what I do. And it wasn't until we got married or we were getting married and we are getting engaged and we were going through couples therapy with Pastor Price. And he used that submissive word, and I was like, who?
Woo, woo.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Pastor, you know me since I was like 11. You know, I don't do none of that. What you mean? What you talking about?
Uh-huh.
But it took me a while to understand what he meant by this is not just a husband is not just a title. They are your partner in crime through all. I should be able to go to him for any and everything. Maybe he may not have all of those answers, but he's there to help me find them or to learn himself in this and that. So it took me a long time, and it still is, but it's not as bad as it used to be. But to go to him and be able to let down my walls. And that's who your spouse is supposed to be. If you can't let down your walls with your spouse, why are they your spouse? Like, why? So
Now
you
does
can't
that
be that person.
now does that sense of vulnerability, spouse and let it be your spouse. That sense of vulnerability, what does that feel to you?
At first, I felt weak. At first, I felt like I'm usually the one handling this, and now I can't. I must have failed. Like, I failed. I messed up. No one, I can't say no one. I don't like messing up. I don't like making mistakes. I have this I have this thing where, and you probably heard it when I said it at my mom's funeral. I said it in my speech. I said, my family and I, we don't celebrate mediocrity. And they drilled that in my head so hard, not in a bad way, but I took it so literal. I applied it to like everything, in
Mm-hmm.
everything I do, including my marriage, including being a mom, including being a friend. So if I make a mistake, I'm already beating myself up more than the person that I made the mistake to already is.
Right.
They're like like it wasn't that deep. It wasn't that serious. I'm easy to say I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, or actually I don't like saying I'm sorry. I'd rather fix it. To me,
Mm.
actions mean are better than words in my mind. You can say you're sorry a million times, but if you're still gonna do it, then your words mean nothing. But if you're gonna show me something, then so that's how I am with things, and I get upset when I forget something or if I miss something or this and that and the third. And he had to see me 24/7, day in and day out, forgetting something and doing this and doing that. Hey, you forgot to do this, and hey, you forgot to do that. And one day, I don't remember where it was, but he was like, "It's okay. You're fine. I got you. I understand. You've had a lot on your plate today. It's all right. Can I help you? Let me do it." And I can't remember what it was, but I was like, I remember crying and saying, "You don't know how to do it." And he was like, "Well, teach me, fool." And I was like,
Right.
"You're right. All right,
Right.
all right, all right." I can't remember what it was. I can't remember what it was. But it was just like I was running out of time and I felt like everything just had to be in place. And my therapist calls it all my ducks in a row, which she's definitely right. But it was just that vulnerability of messing up around the right people, I guess, and he's the right person to be able to make those mistakes and be able to learn from them. And it was hard. It was very, 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 very hard. It kind of is now a little bit, but it's been easier. I've been able to make subtle mistakes or just be myself and accidentally forget, and I not and know that he's not gonna divorce me for making this mistake. He's not gonna be sitting and talking about some man, my wife ain't so, because she ain't. It's not that.
Right.
It's
Right.
not
Right.
that. But that's what usually the strong overthinkers think. They just want everybody to be okay. They want everybody to trust them. They want everybody to know that they can come to them and things are going to be handled and they're not going to mess it up. So it gets hard to be vulnerable when everything's not perfect, and
Yeah.
whatever that perfect looks like.
And I agree with you. And I'll say this to myself. I have fought. You know, hell, many of y'all we've been married for God knows how long, right? And even with myself, to sometimes to even admit that you need help takes a lot to admit, even to your own spouse. Why? Because if you are so used to carrying the load and you got control of so much, like can't nobody do it like I can do it,
Mhm. Mhm.
but I need help. And it may not be, you really don't even know what kind of help you need, because sometimes you can handle everything, but it's like you got a mental break coming and you don't know where to
Mhm.
put it.
Mhm.
You know, I deal with that. I have issues that sometimes I don't know where to put things because I'm still grieving from a lot in my life. So that plays a major part in how you currently move throughout your day. And that affects you even as being a mother, right? As being a mother and you looking at your daughters, two things. One, I would say it affects you, and I would ask how. But two, I would say now that you have children of your own, do you understand some of what or most of what your mother was teaching you at the time?
Yes. There's so many times where I wish she was still here and I could be like, you know, you was right. And she'll go, I know. You know how she do. I know. So many times I wish. And me and her's relationship was all types of just all types of this throughout the years. I remember being younger and she was like my ultimate favorite person. I remember that. And then I remember growing up and just kind of changing and my favorite person kind of switched. I kind of began to be like that daddy's girl type. Not that I didn't
Right?
love my mama. It was just
Your
I
daddy's
was a
girl.
tomboy. Like
Right, right.
I just was. Like, it just really was. It just really was what it was. And she just after every lesson, even when I didn't see it at the time, there were times where she would just say, "When you become a mom, you'll know what I'm talking about." And I'd be like, "Okay, whatever." But in my mind, I'm like, "You probably could have handled that differently." But I see what you're saying. Like, okay, we all know Jawana's mouth was out
Straight to
there.
the point.
We know, straight to the point.
No filter.
Just none. Okay,
No
none.
filter.
And as a kid, I really didn't know how to take that. I really didn't. I was just like, man, dang, I can't catch a break. And I'm not saying I was perfect. I definitely messed up. I definitely messed up and I definitely got what I deserved. Like there was no doubt about that. But I think like in my mind, just like the way that it was received was just like, okay, we can go about this a little differently though. But I'm glad that it did because she was one end of the spectrum and I was the opposite end. There was a point in time. I wasn't always this strong. I actually remember not being this strong. I remember being the person that was bullied and never stood up for herself and just let people say whatever it is that they wanted and would just go in a corner and cry and just be on my own and just I don't know, be like this loner. I remember those days vividly,
Wow.
and I don't really. And there are days that I don't talk about unless you know me or unless you actually ask me what my childhood was like. But I didn't even go home and tell my parents how bullied I was. I really didn't. A couple times, but not really,
Oh
because I
man.
was
So
just not
so your
really.
dad so your dad listening, he gonna be like, hey, why you didn't tell me?
Probably, but then he's gonna be like, well, where are they now? And I'm gonna be like, you don't even want to know.
Right,
You
right.
don't even want to know. You
Yeah.
don't even want to know where them fools at. There's a lot of them that I can see on Facebook now, and it was like the joke's on you, isn't it? But anyway, different story for a different day. But
Different
there was a
story,
point
different
in
day.
there was a point in time where I wasn't that. And as I got older, I got stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger, and I started to see more of her in myself. But then I got two kids, i.e., one right here, the other one's downstairs with her dad. But those two together, one is me and one is her. One is this one here is the aggressive one in the camera. She don't care who's here. She gonna tell it like it is. She don't. She has no filter. She really doesn't. And she's the youngest out of my twins. My oldest one is like who I was. Not a fighter. Not really one to stand up for herself. Cries easily, and I realized that I had to take pieces of who I was and pieces of who she was and find that happy medium to tone her down and bring my
Hmm.
other one up, and just kind of have like being able to meet them at their level, at some times, like that. So being a mom, I've always said that there's a reason why God blessed me with two at the same time. I've always wanted two kids, but I did not want two at the same time.
Right,
There's a reason for it. Could I in the beginning, did I absolutely know why? No. And I still may not have stumbled on the reason, but in my mind, he knew that he was allowing me to see me and allowing me to see her at the exact same time. And he said, figure it out. And
right,
that's what they do. They're 4 years old. They're smart as a whip, just like her. They're 4 years old at a first grade reading level. That's something Joanna would have been
right.
all over, 100%. But then they're sensitive, like me. How do I find that balance?
Yeah,
And I've been
that's
working on that ever since.
that's a good question. And look, so man, we didn't discuss quite a few things, and I think we still got a lot. We got a lot of room to grow. But we run out of time, y'all. We run out of time. Hey, this is what this is where I'm at. This is what I want to do. I'm gonna welcome you back at any given time because I still want to continue the discussion, especially for the strong ones. But it may be other things that we can incorporate on it. I just think that your truth and you speaking your reality has been enlightening. Um, but before we get out of here, before we start to end this up, I asked myself what actually appealed to you so much that you pick this topic up like give it to me, right? and and on the second note, I would say before we leave out of here, what would you say, or give me something that you would want individuals to leave from this conversation, or something that you want to give to individuals, period. And for that I'm gonna drop myself down, right? And
Okay.
I'm gonna give you the platform for like a minute or so. Now, if you get stuck, you need some
Okay.
help to do something, I'll be there. But I want you to
Yep.
have this moment on your own.
Okay.
You ready?
Let's do it.
I'm sure you can handle it. That was a good one. All right, here I go. On you now.
What made me pick this topic is literally the title, because that title was given to me years ago. I can't remember who did, but I've always been called the strong one through just someone just joking at me, like, Chelsea's always the strong one, always the strong one. Chelsea always handles it. I've heard that sentence more times than I've wanted to count. And it was the other part of the sentence where when I would hear that and I would go, yeah, but I'm tired. But I wouldn't necessarily say that out loud. So that sentence has been my life for as long as I can remember. And if there's one thing that I would give to anybody listening is, again, we've said it. It's okay to not be okay. It's quite all right. The world doesn't have to know that you're not okay. But if you can find anyone, just that one, that allows you to be you, to say the horrible things that you're thinking, to feel the horrible things that you're feeling, to let that release. Don't hold that in, because there's someone in this world that needs you, whether you know it or not. And if you hold those things in, the strong one that you're trying to be is going to give in mentally, physically, and emotionally. If anything else, be the strong one, yes, for your kids and for your spouse and for your friends, but that means being strong for yourself first. I can't take care of her if I'm not strong enough to take care of myself. I can't take care of the other one if I'm not strong enough to take care of myself. I can't take care of this house if I'm dead. I can't take care of the people around me if I'm sick because I didn't take care of myself first. And that's not just if I have a cold or anything like that, is if my heart is okay, if my mind is okay, if my energy is okay. If that's truly where it is, then that's great. But if it's not, it's okay that it's not. We're not we're not superheroes. We like to be. She's called me her hero before. But if only she knew that during those times I was given out of a low battery, then she'd probably think a little bit different of me, but that's okay. But I'm here to say it's okay to not be okay.
Man, Chelsea, I want to say thank you. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you for just sharing your truth and your position and the challenges you face. And yes, there's still many more things that we'll have to deal with. Hopefully, someone listening has and will appreciate what you had to offer. So again, for me, here at the Unspoken Voices podcast and my followers, we thank you. We always welcome you, and that's where we at. So you have a good evening. I'm gonna be in touch, and hey, you don't have to be strong all the time, but it's people out here to help you though. Whenever you need, we
Always.
here. We're here. All right.
All
All
right.
right.
Thank you for having me.
Love you.
Love
Talk
this
to
so
you
much.
soon. All
Love you
right.
too.
Bye.
Bye.
Whew. Ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of things that you find out when just having talking to people. And to be honest with you, I'm very, very, very grateful for this podcast because it's given me the room to express not only myself, but to allow other people to express themselves. I definitely want to give a shout out to my man Shank because, man, if it wasn't for this guy reaching out to me and saying, Chuck, let's get on the podcast, then I probably wouldn't have been empowered to start my own. So I always give credence and appreciation to that young man for opening the door and not closing it, and always being in pocket or just a phone call away when we discuss things. So this has been the Unspoken Voices podcast with Chuck Ellis. I want y'all to stay tuned, like, comment, share, understand where we're going, stay in touch, and we'll have Chelsea back on again. We'll have other individuals coming on. I want y'all to know that I'm getting ready to put this book out, and that book will deal with mental health as well. Y'all can read my work. I want y'all to follow me. So I'll have another show for that. So again, it's been the Unspoken Voices podcast with Chuck Ellis, where truth is spoken and healing begins. Y'all have a good night.
Unspoken voices. This has been the Unspoken Voices Podcast with Chuck Ellis, where silence is broken, truth is spoken, and healing begins. So remember, your voice matters, your pain has purpose, and your story deserves to be heard. So until next time, stay connected, stay encouraged, and know that your voice is never alone.